You're listening to the John and Heidi Show Bonus Hour. If you miss any of the program, you can find the podcast at the bottom of the page at sunnyradio.com.
Give yourself a little credit.
I've been telling you about BetterCreditCards.com for a few years now. I'd love for you to take a few minutes today to check out the website. Who knows? You might find a better credit card, one that offers a better rate, or a credit card that offers cash back, airline miles, or other points and perks that can help you. Check it out now.
Give yourself a little credit. Go ahead and switch to BetterCreditCards.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday. Coming your way here in just a moment, I have Dr. Dan from Sioux Falls Hypnosis. We're going to chat with him. Also, a little bit later, we have This Day in Sioux Falls History. And coming up at the end of the hour, Tuesdays with Charlie, Heidi's dad, on the phone, sadly, not in person, but we're still going to chat with him. That's coming up. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.
Insurance. It's important to have insurance, but it's more important to have the right insurance. After all, if you're not covered, it's like not even having insurance. Make sure you're covered for whatever claim might come your way with InsuranceChicken.com, helping you peck out great insurance deals in your area. You need insurance on your car anyway. Why not get great rates for great insurance from InsuranceChicken.com? That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Excited to visit right now with Dr. Dan from Sioux Falls Hypnosis. And we're kind of getting towards the end here of January, but we're still like right in the middle of winter. And there's like these people who have seasonal affective disorder. Am I saying that right?
Sure. Yeah.
So that's a thing. But there's also people that struggle with other things, sometimes just all kinds of loads of stress.
Just stress, yeah.
And we talked briefly last week about this, but I said I want to devote a little more time this week because that's one of the things I knew. I've heard about, hypnosis for weight loss, which my wife and I have done. I've heard about hypnosis to quit smoking. We know people who are doing that and are getting a good response. But the stress is one that I guess I hadn't even thought of that. And I bet there's others that probably haven't even thought of that. How does that program work, and what does that look like?
Well, sure. So most of what I do is the treatment of sort of medically oriented stuff. So weight loss being the big piece of what I do, but also smoking cessation. But then there's this sort of category that we call stress reduction. And, and that's everything from, people who are experiencing stress, anxiety, nervousness, but also insomnia, difficulty sleeping, blood pressure issues, anything that is stress related or where someone needs to be able to cope or adapt to a situation in a different way. And as you can imagine, there isn't anybody out there that isn't periodically experiencing some kind of stress, particularly now. So the idea is with in the treatment of, you're familiar with your Janis Joplin?
Oh, yeah, Janis Joplin. Yeah.
Freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose.
There you go.
Does that make sense? Remember?
Yeah, I remember.
It was
that.
me and Bobby McGee, I think.
Yeah,
Freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose. And the idea is we are moving around in the world with something at risk, with something at stake. Like if I don't get this right, then I'm a bad person. If I can't get this done, then I'm not good enough. If I can't make this work in a useful way or somehow come on top of this, then everything I ever thought about myself or somebody said about me must be true. And that's what we have at risk. Yeah. And people are emotionally moving around in the world with this sense of risk, where they have so much at stake. And that's really where stress comes from. The idea if you're experiencing stress or if you need to handle it differently, is to learn, and we've talked about this, that this is a learning experience, that you get to be okay no matter what.
Yeah.
That no matter if things go wrong, you still get to be okay. If it doesn't work out, you're still a good person. And to really take that in, the learning part is not only that you entertain that in your head, but you actually believe it in your heart. That's the learning piece that needs to take place for people who are experiencing stress. That if this doesn't go well, if it doesn't work out, you're still a good person, you're still worth loving, you still get to be okay. And that's just the case all the time. And if you believe that, stress isn't that big a deal.
This has got to be completely different for you on every basis because, like, somebody who's trying to quit smoking, they're all smoking. It's everybody, they're coming in, they're all smoking. People who are trying to lose weight, they're all trying to lose weight. But the stress, it's probably completely different, caused by different things for everybody. And some people have, like, different types of stress loads and
right, but it all comes down to, that's the interesting thing about stress, is it all comes down to sort of real universal human experiences.
Okay.
We're very much, we have this sense that we're very different. that our experience of stress is different. And my particular stressful constellation is different than yours. But in reality, inside the human being, we're very much alike. And it usually comes down to a version of, if I don't do this well, or I can't make this happen, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not enough, I'm not right, I'm not worth loving. And it usually comes down to just a version of that. At the center of stress for all of us, it is really a universal, generalized, almost archetypal learning experience that we somehow missed along the line. Our lives are hopefully supposed to teach us a piece of that, but sometimes if they don't, or we don't get it quite right, or we need a little more learning, or whatever the case is, we get stuck in there, and that's what people come to hypnosis for, is to finish that learning process so that they can then move through the world and realize they get to be all right, no matter what.
Nice.
Yeah.
If people would like to learn more, you've got a TikTok page, but not
everybody's...
everybody's...
Sioux Falls Hypnosis on TikTok?
And not everybody's on TikTok. So if there's people, like I'm too old for TikTok. I call it Tic-Tac because I don't even know how to say it. But if people would like to find you, are you on other social platforms as well? Or where's the best place to go?
You can find me at SiouxFallsHypnosis.com, and on there's a link to my YouTube page. I have teaching, student videos. I have videos from past clients talking about their experience, all available on there. You can go to my website and then take the link to my YouTube page, or you can just go look for Sioux Falls Hypnosis on YouTube, and or you can call me at 605-702-6691. Love to talk to you.
Very nice. Dr. Dan, Sioux Falls Hypnosis. Again, you can find him online, and then from there branch off to all the social medias, but really simple way to find him, SiouxFallsHypnosis.com.
What could you do with an extra $129 a month? In this economy, every penny counts. So an extra $129 each month would absolutely help. Well, 97% of us have a cell phone, and the average person pays $144 a month. Mint Mobile can help you save a mint. At just $15 a month, that's an average savings of $129 each month. It's time for a Mintervention. Switch and save today. Get this special offer at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Time now for This Day in Sioux Falls History, brought to you by the Sioux Falls Fun Page, West Sioux Studios, and Sunny 93.3. It was on this day, January 30th, 1956, in the wee hours of the morning, an icon burns bright in its destruction. It was on this day the Queen Bee Mill burned down along the Big Sioux River. The building you see there now next to the falls, and a few ruins to the east of the river, are all that remains of the once grand structure. At first glance, it didn't appear that the fire had been too devastating, as the stone walls of the 5-story building were left standing. However, the entire insides of the building had been completely burned up, leaving just the stone shell. Again, the fire happened on this day in 1956, but in 1961, the walls would be torn down to prevent them from collapsing. The building was donated 2 years later to the city in 1963. If going out in a blaze is your idea of a dramatic exit, you'll love the story of how the mill came to be. And we'll have that story coming your way in just a few days. This Day in Sioux Falls History has been brought to you by the Sioux Falls Fun Page, West Sioux Studios, and Sunny 93.3.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-310-5831. 800-310-5831. That's 800-310-5831.